Hello.
Oh, good evening. Oh, you're back to the
Yes.
yeah.
It's
You got tired of the cold. Huh? I don't blame you. Huh?
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
a bit too cold.
Too cold for you. I don't blame you. Huh? Okay. Okay. Listen, it's good. Stay warm. You know, the older you get, you like warmer weather. You don't like colder
That's
weather.
true.
Mm.
Oh, Mr. Harold. You're cold, Harold.
Hello. There you go.
Are you cold? Are you cold?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're jealous of you, Mario, right? He's not.
He's at the beach.
The beach, yeah, the warm weather.
yeah.
Yeah. How's your hand? Getting better?
Better, yeah. They're taking the bandage off tomorrow.
Oh, that's
What
good.
happened,
Yeah.
Harold?
No, I had a little minor surgery on my finger.
Oh, yeah. Why?
It was getting crooked.
Oh, okay.
I had a hard time doing this.
Doing it.
It got stuck.
What about
Now
the
you
Hook 'em
straighten your
horns.
finger. You
the
straighten your
rings
finger
on
out.
him?
Well, tomorrow we'll see.
Okay.
Okay, we're on Daf Chaf,
20.
Mishnah. Nodar b'cheret. A person said, I want this loaf of bread to be cheret. V'omar lo nadarti ela b'char moshel yam. But then he said, I was thinking only of like a fisherman's net, because another synonym for fisherman's net is cheret.
Oh.
Or he makes a statement regarding, I want this loaf of bread to be to me like a korban, the korban. What he meant was like bringing a gift to the king, or Hare Atzmi korban. He says, I want myself to be a korban. Someone like he's being magdish himself, which is again not a neder that you make to the base of Migdash, or you say koinim ishti nenesli. I don't want my wife to benefit from me. But then he said, this refers to my first wife who I divorced. Al kulan, on all of these above, eini shalim lahem. They're not nedorim. You don't have to ask a chacham to be matir. The imnishalu, if somebody asked, You punish him by not being matir the neder. You have to annul it by finding an opening from sort of not from the being, you cannot use regret, which is a very charata, which is a very simple way of annulling a neder. You have to find a Pesach from a sort of a side issue. All of this is done so people won't treat Nedarim
lightly.
So the Gemara says Agufa Kasha. The Mishnah is internally contradictory. Amrit Eini Shon Lehem. You start off by saying it's not a neder. You don't need to ask a shaila. Then you've said that if you ask, you don't matter the neder, implying that it is a neder. You have to read it that they don't require she'ela. The Talmud Chacham knows that it was not the format of a neder. But Amar Aretz doesn't know that. And he comes and asks to have it annulled. We're machmir. Fine. You're machmir to have the Pesach be done in a more complicated way. You can't use regret. What do you mean by you punish it? Somebody became a nazir, and he violated the naziris. Ein is kakin lachining bo itzer kayamim shenag ben heter. You don't let him off the hook until he observes the number of days, the nazirus that he did beheter. That's in a small nazirus of only 30 days. Avla ben naziris meruba, but a longer naziris, once he does 30 days, that's enough. Or Rav Yosef Olav Rabban and he's talking low that the Chachamim say we don't let him off the hook. Lo Beidina de Mistaki, Bezdin gets involved to annul his neder, lo Avid Shapir, is not doing the right thing. In fact, Ravacha B'Yakov Amir Shamti L'Lei. The Chacham that matir the neder, we put him into Cheren. The Chachamim Oimrin Pesach lo Pesach Mimokam Acher. Tana, lo Olam Alti Rogel Ben Nedarim. A person should not be regular in making Nedarim. Shesoif Cholim Ol B'Shvuas. You're going to come to take oaths, which are more stringent. Valti Rogel Eitzel Ha'aretz. Don't hang around in Omer. He doesn't take trumas and maestras from his food. He's going to end up feeding you that. Alti rogaletz l'kohen amaretz. Don't hang around a kohen that's an amaretz. He'll feed you truma. V'altar b'sichai ma'isha. Don't spend a lot of time talking to women. If you're going to be an adulterer. Whoever stares at women, it'll lead to immorality. If you look at the heel of a woman, he won't have good children. We're talking about his wife who's a nida. It doesn't mean her heel, it means her private parts. Which is sort of like directly above where the heel is. Tanya. This refers to Zubusha. Jewish people have they have modesty. They get embarrassed easily. Having an element of busha brings you to fear of sin. Kanamru, simin yafe ba'adam shu baishan. A simin in a good person is that he is modest. He
Bashful.
bashful. Someone who's embarrassed easily, will not sin easily. Umisha ein leboshes panim yadushla under vosav al Har Sinai. Somebody who's not bashful, it's clear that his ancestors were not at Har Sinai. Amar Rav Yechon ben Davoy. Arba dvarim sochli malach hasharis. I learned 4 things from Malachi. Why are people born lame? They carry out the sexual act in a reverse fashion. Ilmim, deaf people, because they kiss the area of the genitalia. Deaf mutes, why does that occur? The couple speak during relations. What about blind children? They stare at the private part. They asked the wife of Rabbi Eliezer ben Urkenes, how can you have such beautiful children? My husband doesn't talk to me during relations. Just at midnight. He uncovers an inch, but covers an inch. He's like just like being fearful of a shade. He's bashful. Why do you do it this way? He doesn't want to be looking at another woman when he's having relations with his wife.
Didn't we have a Gemara way back in Brachas that it said there's a Shmoros Halayla and the braying of the donkey, and then the one was, I think it was the one in the morning. The last one, it was something like Isha Misaperes Bibala. I don't know, something like that. Remember that?
Yeah.
But here it says no, you're not allowed to talk in the morning.
Just for Chatzois.
Yeah.
I believe that it means during relations.
Okay.
But that just talking, they could. Because if you think about another woman,
even though it just says Tchilas Halayla v'lo Sof Halayla.
No, not at the Tchila and not at the Sof.
Right, which is a kasha to me because we clearly had a Gemara that said
it's b'shas tashmish.
Okay, say that.
Shash tashmish. So you cannot be thinking of another woman because v'nimtzu banav bana de mamzeris. In a way, the children you're going to have is going to be a little bit like mamzeris because you're thinking about during tashmish about another woman. So lo kasha, ha b'mili de tashmish, ha b'mili achronisa. Ein achanami. You can talk to your wife during tashmish about things that relate to tashmish, but you can't have a conversation about the Dodgers, which is not related to the intimate act. Means they placed limits. Yochanan ben Devai said you can't have bia shelo kedarka, you can't do it in a reverse fashion, all of this. But we don't paskin that way. Called Masha Adam Rotzin Lasos B'ishta Osa. You can have relations with your wife anyway. We paskin that way. You can kiss anywhere, you can do whatever you want. As long as you're not Motzi Zer Levatola. They compare it to a piece of meat that comes home from the butcher. If he wants to eat it salted, he can eat it salted. Tzli wants to eat it roasted, eat it cooked, ochlo. Shaluk, prolonged cooking, ochlo. Or a fish, he can eat it any way he wants. Amra Meima. Man malachi asharis rabbanon. Who are the malachim that we're talking to Rabbi Yechon ben Davoy? Chachamim, ditema malachi asharis mamish. If you're talking about the word Rav Yochanan ben Davoy came from Malachim Mamir. So then why am I Rav Yochanan ain't Malachim Yochanan ben Davoy? Ha'inu b'kiyas b'tzros avlatfe. The Malachim would know how to make children healthy. So am I called Malach Hasharis? Why were the Rabbanon called Malach Hasharis? The Mitzayni Kamalach Hasharis. They are identifiable by their clothing like Malachim. A certain woman came to Rebbe, Amar lo Rebbe, Arachti lo shulchan lefachah. I prepared myself to have relations with my husband. And he flipped me around and he did it shelo kedarka. Amar lo biti, Torah hitirartech, mani masela. The Torah allows him to do it. What should I do? Hayid also lekame de Rav. A woman came in front of Rav. Amar lo Rebbe, Arachti shulchan v'avcho. He flipped me around. Amar ma'ishna min benisa. Why are you different from a fish? A fish, he can prepare the fish anyway. The same thing here. Don't follow your eyes. Person shouldn't have relations with one woman while he's thinking about somebody else. Even when you're married to two women, when you're having relations with one wife, you shouldn't be thinking about the other. That from the time of these things are created, there's already a pogum. B'nei asnas mishganach. What is this? B'nei ema. If a woman is afraid of her husband and has relations through fear, B'nei anusa, children of, if the husband rapes his wife, B'nei snu, if he hates her, B'nei nidui. One of them was in cherem and they weren't allowed to have relations, they had it. B'nei tmura, having relations with one while thinking about somebody else. B'nei mariva, that when they were fighting. B'nei shichrus, when they were drunk. B'nei grusha salev, that they have relations while in his heart he's thinking of divorcing her. B'nei urbuvia means it's like an orgy. He has relations with a woman, he doesn't even know who he's having relations with. B'nei chatzufa, a wife who demands her husband to have relations with them. It's like a little chutzpahdik. Now the Gemara doesn't have a problem with the last one, ain't he? That if a woman demands relations from her husband, that's a good thing. They'll have sons. That even Moshe Rabbeinu's generation weren't like that. That Hashem told him to go get smart people to fill up the Sanhedrin. But he didn't find Veloksiv Nevonim. Uksiv, later on, Leah finds the Dudaim, and he convinces Yaakov to have relations with her that night. And Yisachar is born. Uksiv Yisachar Chamar Garim. Uksiv Mibnei Yisachar Yodei Bina Loitim. So the children of Yisachar had Bina, which Moshe Rabbeinu didn't have. So you see, there's a milah for the woman to be toivas relation. So the Gemara answers, "Ahi the Mertzayar Tsuyi." She did it only beremes. He understood what she meant, but to do it in an open way is maguna, and they shouldn't do it. Okay. Turbo will start in 12 minutes.
Okay.
Very interesting Agadata.
Wow,
Very good.
Sure is different from the regular dorm.
Good night.
Okay, good night,
See you soon.
everybody. Good night. Yeah.